Hello, everybody. Welcome to Let's Talk Football. My name is John Halpin alongside Chris Palmer. Chris Palmer, welcome back, my brother.
It's like we never left, my friend. It's good to be back sitting in the studio.
Oh, absolutely. It's so great to just be back here and talk football with y'all. We had a great off season, so we're just so excited to start the season off. So let's get right into it, shall we? I'd say let's get right into it, but with some big news first. About a week ago, the Cowboys traded Micah Parsons, defensive end, to the Green Bay Packers for 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark, if I'm not mistaken. This is we figured we had to mention this because this really makes Green Bay, if they were on like the fringe of Super Bowl contention, on Super Bowl contending mode. Because to get a player like Micah Parsons, it's a statement to the league where it's like we want to win now, and it's one of those things that kind of really moves the needle. But CP, I got to know your thoughts on this one.
There is so much to unpack there because for those who were following the Micah Parsons timeline, it was a roller coaster. I don't know how heavy you were really following it. It was just every conversation that Jerry Jones was willing to have. He was willing to have it until Micah was like, I just want my agent to read over this contract. And he was like, nope, I'm done. We can have conversations as men. And it's like, yeah, we can, but it's like, I want my agent present because I don't want you to fuck me in the end. So It came out not too long ago that Micah Parsons wanted 4 years for X amount of money. The numbers defeat me. Jerry Jones rebutted with a longer amount of time with less money. And so it's like, no, I'm going to go and I'm going to request a trade. And somehow, some way, in Jerry Jones's mind, he feels that he won this trade. Now, he has 4 first-round picks over the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
That almost guarantees that Arch Manning is going to be a Dallas Cowboy.
I don't know about that. I don't know
bold
about
prediction.
That.
We'll see. We'll see if he even gets drafted. But no, they have 4 first rounds over the next 2 years. So that's an interesting move. But to bring in Kenny Clark, who's in year 10, has been on and off injury. He's quote unquote starter ready, but he's not a game changer. He's essentially post prime. He's definitely on the decline in his years. He will not be in the league much longer. To give up Micah Parsons, who is someone you can wrap a defensive package around, you can build a franchise around with him being a defensive player, to give him to Green Bay, a team that handed you your ass in the playoffs, simply put. You handed him freely. And like you said, they are on the brink of being one of the most dangerous teams in the NFC again.
Mm-hmm.
You just handed them a top 10 edge rush for nothing. 2 late first-round picks.
Yeah.
Good on you, Jerry. Just good on you, man. But it did actually recently come out that Micah Parsons is fighting a back injury.
I saw that, yeah.
I think he has like hyperflex discs in his in the A section of his spine. So he is fighting back tension at the moment, and he is at the moment questionable for Sunday.
Okay. I would expect him to play. If not that week, then like probably week 2. I don't expect it to be a lingering injury with Micah Parsons. He was seen practicing not too long ago. So
I saw some clips, and he still has that aggression to him. It's fun to watch.
It is so great to watch. But yeah, we've seen this a little bit before in the past, where teams have traded away their best defensive player, which sometimes is their best player on that given team, to another team, and it hasn't always been that successful. For instance, Khalil Mack to the Bears. That was again at the time Raiders' best player, and traded to Chicago. Chicago, they had a great defense that year, but that was the year of the double doink, and where they got eliminated. it did work out a little bit for the Rams acquiring Jalen Ramsey when they made their Super Bowl run. Again, best player on Jacksonville at the time, just shut down corner, and Rams were like, "We'll take him." There's so like it has and another time where it really has not happened. Uh, Jamal Adams to the Jets. That's going back a little bit, but like
That's
Jamal
going back
Adams,
some
he
time.
wasn't their best player on defense, but he was a rising star at that time, and the Jets were like, we'll give you a haul for him. They gave up more for Jamal Adams than what the
I think they
Packers
ever
gave.
have.
Than
Right.
the Packers gave up for Micah Parsons.
Which is wild to think about.
So
I remember having this
Mhm.
debate online with someone. You and I and him were having a debate about the Jamal Adams trade. He thought the Jets went away with a home run, and we were like, "You're fucking crazy.
It's the Jets. It's the Jets.
You're fucking crazy."
But I think for getting back to at least this trade, this is again one of the best defensive players in the league, and even as seen by his peers, he is seen as one of the best defensive players in the league. To move to a team to be traded to a team that over like contract disputes because of Jerry Jones and his goddamn ego, fucking
Always.
punting on the season. By the way, I think that's safe to say that the Cowboys are pretty much going to adopt the Bengals' philosophy of we're just going to try to outscore you and not worry about what's happening on defense. But the thing is, though, they're not as talented as the Bengals to pull that off. So the Cowboys are going to, if they had a really tough time ahead of them before this trade, after this trade, the mountain just got steeper. And it's going to be a lot harder for them to win games this season because of Jerry Jones.
Yeah, everything for years now, everyone's known that everything is indicative in Dallas based on Jerry Jones's decisions. And everyone I guess people started throwing questions when he made Dak Prescott the highest paid quarterback ever.
And he said, I overpaid for you.
Right. And then he outright said, I overpaid. And nothing happened afterwards. And then he decided not to pay Ezekiel Elliott until the end. Franchise tagged him twice. Did the same thing with Dak. Franchise tagged him twice. You saw that this was probably coming with Micah Parsons, and he wanted no part of it.
Mm-hmm.
These were all the choices that led to this. Now you have, first off, someone needs to check on Jerry Jones because he really thinks he won this trade. He thinks having 4 first round picks over the next 2 years is a win for getting rid of a top 10 edge rush, arguably, in the league.
Mm-hmm. Easily.
And it's not even a matter of where he is. It's just a matter he's no longer on your roster.
Mm-hmm.
You're willing to give that up.
Trade him. Yeah.
Right. And that's really, arguably they won't even be able to compete.
Well, Micah Parsons comes back to Dallas week 4, Sunday night primetime.
That's on my birthday.
Yep.
September 28th.
Yep.
That's an interesting game.
Happy almost birthday, my friend.
Jeez. We'll talk that game.
Oh, that's going to be a game worth talking about. But
absolutely.
But that was just something we wanted to mention before we actually get into the meat of week 1 episodes, man, because it's always the best when we have different segments with like bowl predictions and Super Bowl picks, because everything's fresh. Everything's just really fresh on the mind. So, Chris Palmer, are you ready to make some bold predictions?
Yeah, man, we'll go 1 for 1. Tell me your first one. Full disclosure, I want you to know my bold predictions are ludicrous this year.
I love it. I love it. Mine are probably not as bold as yours. I probably have like a lot more conservative ones. Like, for instance, I think this year we will see a 2,000-yard receiver. It's been knocking at the door. The receivers this year are just too good, and it's going to be Jamar Chase,
especially with the. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It is going to be Jamar Chase.
let's dig on that one.
And I think in a good second, Justin Jefferson. which is not bold, but when you think that getting that much yardage or close to that much yardage,
that one's more realistic to me.
From J.J. McCarthy, I think I have high expectations for the Vikings as well. I don't know if that's a bold prediction, but I also have high expectations for them. But
All right.
Getting back to the original bold thing, Jamar Chase, 2,000 yards. He gets it this year.
I'm going to rebuke that one with my first bold prediction of Joe Burrow will get sacked and hit over 100 times this year. So that 2,000 yards is going to be hard because he is going to be on the ground a lot this year.
100. So you think the Bengals' offensive line is going to be worse than the Chicago Bears' offensive line? Where Caleb Williams got sacked 68 times last year?
I think Joe Burrow is in for the run of his life this season.
Woo!
That, again, minor ludicrous this year.
Bold. I love it. I absolutely fucking love it. I don't know, again, if this is a bold prediction, but there's going to be a lot of records breaking this year. I know Aaron Rodgers is going to break some records. Matt Stafford's going to break some records. Mahomes is going to break some records, like benchmarks. A lot of. So, bold predictions. Second bold prediction. I guess I'll run with the one that I think Mike Evans and the Tampa on wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is in year 11 is going to start hitting a stride that we have not seen from a Hall of Fame wide receiver. I think that this is the first of a 4-year stretch where he gets over 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns. I think that the Bucs are going to do extremely, extremely well this year and for years to come. They are, and Mike Evans, man, like he's just on another level. He really is. And so I guess that'll be my second bold prediction. It's not, again, too flashy, but longevity. There's something to be said about that.
I think you think age is reversed, mate. That you said you were going conservative. That is crazy. The idea of, first off, I agree with you where they will continue to succeed as a team.
Mm-hmm.
I love what's happening in Tampa. I love Baker in Tampa. I love his connection with Mike Evans. But with all elite wide receivers comes a slowdown of statistics and smarter route running. So while I don't know if I see 4 consecutive years of 1,500 yards, I could see a steady increase in touchdowns per season and maybe even touchdowns per game.
Mm-hmm.
So
he got 10 last year.
He got 10 last year.
Mm-hmm.
I could see 12, maybe 13 this year. In 4 years' time, I could see a 15 touchdown year from Mike Evans with Baker Mayfield. I don't know about 15 a year for 4 years. That
conservative, very, very conservative.
At least I was honest when I said mine were fucking ludicrous. So okay, I'll match longevity for longevity. This one has, again, I haven't been able to shake this one.
Okay.
We have seen Patrick Mahomes' last Super Bowl.
God damn. That is bold. That is really fucking bold. But why do you think that?
On a first, when you first hear it, you think no fucking way, right? But then you stop for a second. And we talked a lot last year about how tones get set and messages are on the field.
Mm-hmm.
The tone in which they lost the Super Bowl and the actions following into the offseason, meaning none. There were not many actions taken by Kansas City this year. They didn't make many waves, they didn't do many signings, they didn't make many trades. Drafted under the radar, kept everything under the radar, kind of how old school teams do it, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. But there was no big signings, no contract negotiations, no nothing. More so, it's like a bleeding out effect from the 2 massive deals of signing Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce to huge contracts. Mm-hmm. This is what we see now. in Kansas City. What you see is what you get. The progression of the entire AFC. Teams have grown past the 1-2 combos and they're moving forward as teams and cultures. Cultures are being built in the AFC now. And it's happening at a very rapid pace. To where, and this is a league-wide thing as well, cultures are being built in teams. The culture of Kansas City is Mahomes only goes as far as Mahomes gets to Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
That does not fly now in the league because there are full team efforts across the board happening.
Mm-hmm.
So on that principle is why I think we've seen the Kansas City Chiefs' last Super Bowl. Not to say they won't be contenders. Think about it in like a basketball reference, the post-prime San Antonio Spurs, where you could almost guarantee them as a playoff team, but once they get to the playoffs, we'll see what happens then.
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer a cut edge, a cut in. They're going towards the finals. It's maybe they'll win a game. If they win a game in the playoffs for the Kansas City Chiefs, it's going to be more impressive as the years go on.
Mm-hmm. That's a bold one, my friend. I like it. I the last of his career. That's crazy.
I know it's bold because it's unseen how long he will be in the league.
Well, this is what, his year
9?
Year 8 for him. So
yeah,
yep.
Year 8.
Mm-hmm.
So and he's already a Hall of Famer. He doesn't have to play a single snap anymore. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Well, you know that clear as day, and I know that as a fact.
Oh, that is 100% a fact.
He needs to do not a thing more, and he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Is it bold to say that this is Travis Kelce's last year? I don't think that's a bold.
I don't know. I think that's all but set in stone.
Yeah. So that again seems very realistic, and I guess bold. I'll give two like at the same time. I think records. I think it may not be surprising, but I'm going to say the Steelers, again, first losing season with Mike Tomlin. It doesn't sound like a bold statement, but I think the next record that will happen, I think the Saints are going to win one game this year. They're going to go 1 and was it 16? 1 and 16.
Oh, you and Kevin got something to talk about.
I know. Yeah. I think that the Saints are just it does not look good for them at all. And I'm excited to unpack that next week with Kev, but it does not look good in New Orleans.
All right, and what's your second one? Because that one actually runs in the same vein as mine. So you're going to run 2 and 1.
Yeah, the Steelers, Mike Tomlin, and the Saints. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, mine is also a Steelers bold prediction.
Okay.
And I want you to know I took a long and hard look at our schedule this year.
Mm-hmm.
It is no easy feat.
It's not.
Once again, the buzzsaw is in Pittsburgh when it comes to a schedule that once again starts on the road. This one pains me to say because, again, it may be bold from the sound of it, but you go back and look at the schedule, you can see just how realistic it could be. I just put the Steelers win 5 games.
Well, that is bold. That is bold. And Rodgers goes out as miserable as he arrived.
Miserably, he left New York.
Oh my God. Is it weird to say that that's kind of the best case scenario for the Steelers in the long term?
Is that it blows up in their face totally? Yeah, I know. And I don't want to sound like a bitter fan, but it's just, you know me, my brain has been fuzzy all offseason with the decisions that have been made.
And we'll get more into the Steelers later on because I really want to unpack that for bold again the game that we want to talk about. But that is 5 wins. That is crazy.
Again, it sounds bold.
It is
because
it is
the normal history of Pittsburgh where they can win 8-9 games
because Mike Tomlin, just one man. That's
right. But again, it's the moving away from the one man culture. That's what it's the same argument with Kansas City. It's you have to move away and move as a unit. And again, we'll get more into it, but it was the short-faced decisions of all season is what led to this moment. Fuck.
Oh man, there's just so much to unpack there. But see, I'll be honest, I don't have any other bold predictions. Those were kind of my other ones. But
those are my big three.
Do you have more? Like, if you have more, just like.
No, those were my big three that I couldn't get out of my head.
Okay.
Most of the off season, these were the three main things as the off season was going on into camp and then through the preseason. While watching, I'm a fucking weird person, so I watched the preseason highlights, and this is what I've come about with all of these teams.
I had another bold prediction, but after the Micah Parsons trade, it made me rethink it. And I'll tell you what I was thinking. I think the Vikings are going to win the NFC North. That's what I initially thought.
Mm-mm.
And then the trade happened. And I'm like, okay, probably the Packers are going to win the NFC North.
We're about to watch the Bears get bullied into the dirt by the rest of that division. I want you to know that as a fact.
Bro, I feel bad for them. I feel bad because I don't think that they will. I don't think they'll give Caleb Williams 68 sacks like he did last year.
They really underestimate the power of the rest of that division right now.
It's just too good.
It's brutal.
It's just too good.
It's brutal. It's going to be brutal to watch for Chicago.
So Monday night, week 1, Minnesota goes to Chicago. So that'll be a very, very interesting week 1 Monday night game.
With the return of Adam Thielen.
I do want to. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
Adam Thielen for return debut.
Can the Bears protect Caleb Williams? Can
no.
They? That's the question. It's a very simple question, but yeah, that division of the NFC North is just stacked with great. Like, the Lions are a great team, the Packers are a great team, the Vikings are a great team, and they're all going to be competitive. And the NFC North plays the AFC North this year, so that's
an interesting idea of games on paper.
Well, we have a lot of great games, the North versus the North this year, and I do want to. There are 2 games that we want to discuss. Before we get into that, CP, I gotta know. I gotta ask right here, right now, and I'm marking it on the video. Who is your Super Bowl pick? Who you picking for your early Super Bowl matchup?
So, I thought about it all day, and I thought about it while we were off air, and I've come to 2 conclusions: the likely and the bold.
Okay.
The likely, in my opinion, is Eagles-Ravens. I think that is the more likely matchup because of how the 2 stack up against each other. 2 strong offenses with a strong quarterback and an even stronger running back, good wide receiver core, and a solid defense. They have people who get after the ball on all 3 levels, people that can defend the ball, get to the quarterback. The issue is how the both of them the difference between the both of them is how they come out of the gate every year. It's always a coin flip as to who's going to come out faster and who's going to fall. It's one or the other. And then you got the bold one, the one that I think everyone kind of wants to see.
I think I know this one.
Lions Bills.
Yep.
I think everyone wants that one.
So if you had to pick between the 2 matchups, which one are you taking? Who are you locking in?
I think I'm going to lock in the bold one, Lions Bills.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I love it.
I think I got to do it, man. I think I got to do it.
I respect the fuck out of it. Because whoever wins that, it's going to every team is just going to be so happy for either one of them.
I feel like the entire nation's just going to take a deep breath.
Yeah.
One of them's going to win, and they're going to be like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God it happened.
Those Mafia's going to riot the streets. They're going to be rioting.
Dude, if Dan Campbell brings the Lions to a fucking Super Bowl,
that's pretty fucking...
Think about that one for a second. In 4 years, he brought them from a damn near winless team to Super Bowl contenders, to being in the conversation of Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it really goes to show just how good and how much his message resonates with the locker room, and people buy into his play style. And man, the Lions are going to be another team to watch this year. They're just another one where it's like, can they get over that mental gap from last year, right? That mental hurdle where it's like they were doing so great, got bounced in the playoffs, and throughout the entire season, their entire team was just snake bitten with injuries. And so it's just now you get basically your entire defensive side of the ball starters back on the field in the first time in forever. Um, they're just going to be such a fantastic team to watch, and I'm excited for NFC North games this year.
I genuinely hope that Dan Campbell as a coach learned how to pace himself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everyone loves the all gas, no brakes mentality, right? But you and I have said it to nauseum that this game is a game of attrition.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot. I mean, they really went against the grain last year, winning 16 games with 20-something players on the IR. I think at one point they had 23 players injured.
Mm-hmm. And so that was mostly on defense.
Right. So they were running third and fourth string defensemen.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes back to what I was saying about cultures being built. The culture in Detroit is next man up. And that it's great to see, but I really hope Dan Campbell understands that you need to know when to hit the brakes.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot go until the wheels fall off, because they will, and you will come to a screeching halt.
Mm-hmm.
There's no slide, there's no give in this league. And he should know that better than anyone, being on the 0-16 team. He really, so I hope as a coach, he brings that into the locker room with his continued message of, we're going to do this together, but we're going to do this a little bit smarter than last year.
Yeah.
If he learned that, God help us.
So, Bills Lions, who wins that matchup?
It depends on the Bills team that shows up.
You think
it depends on the Bills? It depends on the Bills team that shows up. What you see in Detroit is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're going to be in your face all game. It's going to be a long day regardless of how they play. The Bills can set you on fire in the first quarter, or they're going to wait until about a third of the way through the third quarter to finally wake up. And before then, a team like Detroit is going to smell blood before halftime.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a coin flip on really which Josh Allen comes to play. If Josh Allen is at 100%, we would be in for a ride that game. It would be a ride.
Well, last year they played each other, and it was like a 40-something game, which is crazy. And the Bills
That's
won.
That's what I'm saying.
So
that's what I'm saying. So it would be a ride.
That'd be pretty dope. I like it. I like that's a bold one. I'll give you mine, because it's not too bold, right? AFC, we're going with the Ravens.
Right. They're the clear-cut front runners at the moment, in my opinion.
And I think that the thing that makes the Ravens very good, like very hot contenders this year, because we really beefed up a lot of our weakness in the secondary within the last 2 years. And our cornerback, like our secondary, looks great. And I do have a little questions on the pass rush, but lately the pass rush has been great. And when you look at the Ravens' total roster, it's just, aside from like the wide receiving core, there's like not a glaring flaw on that, because there's just like at every position there's Pro Bowl caliber players on every single like sector of like both the offensive, defensive, and special teams. Tyler Loop, that's our kicker. Tyler Loop, get in the loop, baby. I'm excited. So AFC, I'm gonna go Ravens, and I think that comes no surprise to anybody. And I was thinking about NFC. There's a lot of great contending teams in the NFC that I like. I like a lot of different teams. I like the Rams, I like the Lions, the Packers, and even the Vikings. But I think the make but not be in like Super Bowl contention. But then there's the Eagles, Commanders, Bucks, 49ers. 49ers strength of schedule is the lowest that it's been. So they have a very, very easy schedule.
Good chance of competing this year, at least.
Competing, no, but they'll probably be in the playoffs, if that's a bold prediction or not. But I think just because on strength of schedule alone. But when yesterday, I thought about the Super Bowl for a long time because, again, with that loss to the Chiefs, right? If the Chiefs won, the Chiefs would have been overwhelming favorites again this year. But being that the Eagles beat them, it has opened up the league where everyone can really start to think that, oh no, this could be their time. And there's a lot of teams where it's like you could see it. You could see them host the Lombardi, the Bills, the Ravens, the Lions, the Packers, the Eagles again, the NFC. Yesterday I thought Eagles. I changed my mind today. I'm going in on the Bucks. I think the Bucks are going to be representing in the NFC this year.
I would love that. I want you to know for a fact I would love that.
I have really looked at them this offseason. They've really piqued my Baker Mayfield last year. On fucking fire, 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns.
No one talks about it.
This dude.
No one talks about it.
Lamar and Josh Allen, they were so great last year, right? That we forget that Baker Mayfield put up these numbers. We forget that Joe Burrow put up for 4,900 yards and 43 touchdowns last year. Let that sink in. And I think that when I look at the layout of the NFC, the Eagles and Bucks are like the two top dogs for me. I was earlier thinking in the beginning of the offseason the Rams, but the Puka injury concerns me. The condition of Stafford's back concerns me as well. And I think that if they are to play against a very physical defense, it's going to really take its toll on this team, especially for how long the season goes. You and I said it before, it's a game of attrition. And I don't think the Rams, I think that they can compete in the game of attrition, but ultimately the game of attrition will beat them. So Eagles and Bucks for me, and I'm going Bucks to lose to the Ravens in the Super Bowl. Not a big surprise.
Bucks Ravens Super Bowl would be dope. Mm-hmm. And I want you to know that Eagles potential, because it is potential, Eagles Bucks NFC Championship. I want you to know the amount of silencing that championship would do. Because I want you to know there's still people that doubt Jalen Hurts as a football player.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know you and I agree, which is totally ludicrous. There's the fact that there's people who really think that Jalen Hurts is somehow just riding a wave and isn't the trendsetter in Philly right now is buck wild to me.
I know.
Like, it's totally buck wild that he is totally oversought as a top 5 quarterback in this league.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild to me. People put a lot of quarterbacks before him, and it's not right. In my opinion, he's above Justin Herbert. Everybody puts Justin Herbert above Jalen Hurts.
No, if there's like there's not a chance. Top 4, Jalen's top 5. Like, he's the 5th one.
Thank you. He's number 5 in top 5.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And Baker Mayfield is number 6.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Baker Mayfield should be 6.
I'm glad you think the same thing. I'm glad you think the same thing too.
But this is what I mean by this. That would be like the silencing match of everybody, because these are the two quarterbacks that came into this league and they were both late bloomers.
Mm-hmm.
They've both been scratching and clawing and fighting against the media, naysayers, and everybody. Remember, Jalen Hurts was almost traded before this. Remember, Baker Mayfield didn't have a job for quite some time. He was flown into LA and revived his career the same night.
Yep.
So let's think about that one for a second.
Mm-hmm.
But both of them have been fighting just about everybody, saying you aren't going to make it in this league. They are being totally outcast, even though they are some of the best quarterbacks in the league currently.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is the game necessary for people to finally shut their mouths and say that these fucking two kids can play and are at the best of their ability, and they are some of the best in this league.
Absolutely.
You and I see it. very few people agree to us when we say it. That's the game that is necessary right now.
It's I 100% agree with you because it's I people really overlook these guys, and they have proven that not only do they belong, but they have exceeded everyone's expectation of them. And I I feel so bad for Cleveland fans watching the Bucks and watching Baker Mayfield just thrive. Meanwhile, they have a 5-man quarterback room.
Right.
And it's just, and for the Eagles, man, it's like Jalen Hurts is that guy. And he realized last year that he doesn't need to be the savior in Philly. He just needs to make sure that he puts his guys in position to win games. And that is a champion's mentality right there. It's like, I'm doing what is necessary, not doing too much to do it. You know what I mean? He's not overextending himself. He's balancing the offense. He's making sure everyone gets their touches, because he's just surrounded by stars. And Eagles are proven that they are a complete team. And that's why they won the Super Bowl last year. And that's why it's fair to say that they are favorites this year as well, because they are just such a complete team. And God help the Cowboys game 1, man, because that is going to be a slaughter of a game.
It's, again, when it comes to, if you want to show someone the textbook of consistent progress throughout someone's career, look at the history of Baker Mayfield. He has only gotten consistently better every time he touches the field. It's clear as day that he is a student of the game. Jalen Hurts is a student of... There's a bunch of students of the game now. But like you were saying, the Eagles being the complete team. The Bucks, while complete, age is not on their side.
No.
Eagles have the youth and exuberance, while Bucks essentially have the old age and treachery. So it would be a very interesting matchup to watch, where it's young and fast meets seasoned and aggressive. I want that as an NFC championship.
That we will actually get that matchup sometime this year. So they are destined to play this year, in the regular season.
Oh yeah.
So that is great. So I love both of those Super Bowl predictions, man. It gets me so excited because sometimes you could just see and just what looks ahead in the realm of the playoffs, because that's when the best football happens. But the best football also happens week 1 as well. And there's some great matchups for week 1. But there's one game in particular that we kind of needed to talk about, because the offseason was very eventful in Pittsburgh this year. But CP, Steelers, Jets, week 1. I want to get your thoughts on this. The floor is yours, my friend.
So I'm going to try not to make this a hit piece, because I love my team. I'm loyal to my team, and I do stand behind the decisions that are made. I'm standing behind them, because there is chances that it will work in our favor. With that being said, my brain, it took a lot of really thinking about the decisions that were made, the bigger decisions that were made over the course of the offseason. Starting with the contract signing of DK Metcalf. We did that not having a quarterback room. We had literally just gotten rid of Justin Fields, who we're playing now, and Russell Wilson, who is now starting for the Giants. So we handed two teams that are really in quarterback purgatory our quarterback room. And then we go ahead and we sign an $80 million receiver. Meanwhile, you know that there's people on our defense specifically that are playing at a very high level that are going to be wanting contracts respectfully so. One of which TJ Watt, another of which was probably going to be Micah Fitzpatrick, Cam Hayward, who still has not been signed, mind you. I want you to know that he has not had any contract talks about an extension.
That is
still in the air.
That's crazy. I just give this man whatever amount of years
week one's
he wants.
Tomorrow, and he said he's considering taking time off. I want you to know that.
That is rough. That's a big loss.
He's considered sitting games, and week one is on fucking Sunday.
Man. Well,
so with that being said, there's no extension for Cam Hayward. We just extended TJ Watt not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Highsmith is going to be looking for a contract next year. And we trade Micah Fitzpatrick for Jalen Ramsey.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a precedent set with Jalen Ramsey from when Jalen Ramsey was kind of withering away in LA. You called him burnt toast a couple of times.
Yeah, I remember that.
He went to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
He went to Miami, and he started to uplift himself, and he had a Pro Bowl type career stats wise. Mm-hmm. He had a good defensive year in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
You 180'd on the trade that everyone graced you for when we took Minka from Miami.
Mm-hmm.
You totally backtracked on that, knowing because Minka Fitzpatrick is going to want a contract that you can't afford.
Mm-hmm.
So you get rid of him now while he's cheap. But you get rid of him for an age secondary and late round picks. Hopefully to build into next year's draft for an offensive line, which you did nothing for this year.
Mm-hmm.
You've made no moves to help your offensive line, and then the expected pickup that no one wanted but everyone expected was the signing of Aaron Rodgers. So now you put an aged Aaron Rodgers on average the last 4 years we've been ranked 23rd in offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
23 out of 32. Or worse. I think last year we were 29.
Yeah, it hasn't been that good on the O-line.
So you put one of the oldest quarterbacks in the league, who is coming off an Achilles injury, behind one of the worst offenses in the league, where you've made no changes. But at least you now have an $80 million wide receiver. And no wide receiver number 2. So you have one weapon, 3 tight ends that in a playbook that doesn't run with 3 tight ends. 2 of which you're not going to be able to afford in 3 years' time. 1 of which is going to be trade bait, and then you're going to be left with nothing but trade picks and Will Howard, who has yet to prove himself, who I believe in from watching his lost him. All right. So as I was saying, I trust in Will Howard, but it's going to be too little too late by the time he is on the field. I've seen his highlights in college. He can play. Him being on the field is the embracing of a rebuild, and that's okay in my opinion. I'm one of the few that embrace rebuilds because it can really produce a team that people don't understand. And I've seen a lot of ex-Steelers, current Steelers media outlets talking about the potentials of this team. And now I'm one of the few. I like the idea of potentials. I like potential, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone likes the idea of potential. Everyone says this has the potential to be a historic defense, of like an all-time historic defense. That is the word on the street right now for this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. It is so unproven that we are going to be an all-time defense. The last time in my mind that the Pittsburgh Steelers had a all-time defense, honestly, maybe 2008. That 2008 to 2010 crew was different. Mm-hmm. they're an all-time defense. This squad has a lot to prove, in my opinion, before you can start comparing them to, at minimum, that defense. So let's pump the brakes a little bit, because there's a couple of sophomores on this team. There's a rookie on this team that are going to be in the starting lineup, and all power to you. Congratulations. I hope all of you guys have great careers and help us immensely. But for players who have limited to no snaps and you start putting them in the all-time defense category, you're on drugs. You're bugging. Again, it's potential and realities. There's potential that Aaron Rodgers can have a historic touchdown year because of who he has as a weapon with DK Metcalf. The reality of it is he is in year 20 with a bottom-tier offensive line in front of him. Give him time to throw the ball. Yeah, he could fucking let fireworks go off. He is one of the best quarterbacks of all time. The problem is, will he get that time? Majority of the time, probably not. We're going to see a lot of 3-and-outs from this offense. And I guarantee you people are still not expecting that to come from this team. So in that end, we fall flat on offense, where we're going to be a 3-and-out machine for quite some time. And then on defense, our identity was totally taken from us in the last stretch of the finals of last year. I understand injuries got us. I'm one of the empathizers of injuries. I understand the injury bug hit us at the end of the year last year, but at the same time, for our team captain to go 6 games worth of time without a single defensive snap, I'm talking TJ Watt going 200 snaps or more without a defensive stat, to only then negotiate a contract immediately after, showed that that was not an accident, in my opinion. He said, you want me to work for this game? You're going to pay me what I feel I'm worth. And I showed you what I'm worth prior to these 200 snaps, because of the struggles that are ahead for this team. TJ Watt saw it. That's why he said, you're going to have to pay me more to be here, to try and help elevate this team. My time is worth more now. It's the same thing Cam Hayward said. He goes, I've been here for so long, and I'm still playing at an elite level. You'd pay me what I'm worth. No. Realistically, no one is worth that much money. However, we don't talk about that when it comes to professional sports.
Capitalism, baby.
Capitalism, baby. So, and again, all the franchise veterans looked across and saw the early signing of DK Metcalf, and while being told the cap space, while they wanted to talk throughout the year. First sign of the offseason starts, you sign DK Metcalf to a ludicrous contract after dumping both quarterbacks, one of which the team was starting to fall themselves around, which was Justin Fields. The team was finally, but he's gone now.
He's gone.
And he's on the Jets. And the only and that's one of the other blunders that hurts my brain. The only thing the kid wanted was for you to commit to him as quarterback one. That was his one request in the contract room. Money didn't matter to him. The years didn't matter. He goes, just make me your quarterback one. And you could not make him that promise.
Mm-hmm.
How?
They didn't want him. For whatever reason.
For whatever reason, you did not see the potential in him. But you see the potential of what Aaron Rodgers was. But again, now you have to bring all the baggage with Aaron Rodgers, right? We've spoken the baggage up 10 times on this show. So I'm not even going to go into what they are. But now you bring that into the young team that is Pittsburgh, that we are slipping into the deep end of a rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
You think he's going to help Matters on his way out? Come on, man. Let's be realistic. Let's be realistic. Again, it's potential and reality. We have a potential, very interesting offensive year coming. The reality of it is it's going to be hard to watch a lot of the time.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough, and on the flip side, watching the Jets, we watched it on the Jets with Aaron Rodgers last year. It was hard to watch.
Mm-hmm.
That defense is ready to play in New York, and that I've been saying for a couple of years, that New York Jets defense is ready to play.
Mm-hmm.
The offense, they have a couple of pieces. They need a quarterback, and they need a coach that's ready to run them like an actual team. But if in the idea and, in the spirit of cultures and trend setting, Justin Fields was looking for a team to embrace him as a quarterback. The Jets have been looking for have been in quarterback purgatory for years.
Mm-hmm.
You think at the first sign of someone saying, please embrace me as a quarterback, they're not going to take it in full stride? Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully they take it in full stride. Other than Pittsburgh, everyone wants to play for Pittsburgh at some point in their life. That's the lineage and the history behind it. There's not many people in this league that are saying, I will play for any team. Just invest in me.
And voila.
And now you have it's a big market. It's a big market team, because it's in New York. You have the big market. Mm-hmm. So it's big market value to bring him in, and then you embrace in him, and you do start doing the right things. You start investing in your offensive line, which the Jets did. You start investing in more pieces and draft pieces and defense, and you start the pieces and the gears start turning in the proper movements where you can see some light at the end of that tunnel. And I'm not even going to say it's a bold prediction. There is a real chance that could be the spark that is this year with Justin Fields as a New York Jet.
It very well could be. I thought you were gonna keep going.
No, that's all I do. Again, I believe in Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan. The decisions they made were very clear, short-faced decisions where they want to try and show we're all in for a Super Bowl this year.
Mm-hmm.
But the big flashy moves weren't in the necessary places. You didn't go out and get an all-pro lineman. Samalo's coming back this year, finally from injury. That helps. Herbig is there. That helps. They're good enough. But especially, first off, shout out to the NFL for putting Protector of the Year as an award. We're going to see some offensive line play that people don't understand.
I'm excited for that. I'm very grateful that they added that, because that's something that you and I we've emphasized for 5 years now.
Right, since the beginning of this is the underappreciation of offensive linemen.
Yep,
correct. So I think this year we're going to see some offensive lineman play that people have never seen before. There's going to be a new lens on the offensive line play. So then when you look at Broderick Jones, who is a fucking walking penalty, where he gets about a penalty and a half every game.
That's Ronnie Stanley for over here.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like these offensive line, these names are going to become more prominent for less, for better or for worse.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
One way or another, people are going to start knowing the names of offensive linemen and why the issues are the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to be like, oh, it's the offensive line. It's like, no, now you're going to understand why people are so adamant about drafting the best offensive lineman on the board when you've had a terrible offensive year versus going for the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Detroit almost jumped out of their seats when they drafted Penei Sewell. You know what I'm saying?
And he was graded the best at his position.
Correct.
Which is fucking crazy.
He was the best lineman on the board, and he is one of the best linemen in this league right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what it is. Trent Williams, he's a Hall of Fame lineman.
Lane
Johnson. We talk about these guys all the time, but now a lot of names are going to start being thrown around as the offensive line becomes a more scoped at position by fans.
Mm-hmm.
So to do nothing on the offensive line, with that being said, is another one of those decisions where it just makes you question the real, I don't want to say agenda, because agenda gets a lot of buzz when it comes to things that are happening. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about the overall outlook of what you want this team to be.
Mm-hmm.
Do you? It seems like, do you want them to be billboard ready, or do you want them to be ready to compete? You know what I'm saying? Like, are
And
you
there's a
going to
big
be?
difference.
There's a big difference there, and like we were saying, the culture of one or two people can do it is becoming a thing of the past very fast in this
Mm-hmm.
entire league
Mm-hmm.
throughout. It's a 53-man effort, one way in, one way out, and that's together. And it's a beautiful thing to see, but it's hard to watch the teams hang on to old schemes. And right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are really, they're hanging on to the defense wins championships idea, which is something that a lot of people still hang on to, myself included. But the new mantra is the complete team wins.
Mm-hmm.
The complete team wins. And it's a 53-man roster. It's not just defenders.
Mm-hmm.
You need 53 people that are ready and able at any given point now, more than ever, or you're going to be left behind.
Exactly. And it's so true. And again, year 5, and we're still saying the same things too, because of what it means to be, what's important to winning culture in the NFL, right? Like we just see it with our own eyes, right? We see players make, like, we just see everything on the field, and all of that is like pre-made decisions that people make, and it's just, I want to take a step back for this game, because this game was very interesting to me for a multitude of reasons, and I've love your insight on it, and it was such a great take too. And when you were talking about, DK, yeah, and then the Minka tray that for Jalen, Will Howard, and everything, and in my mind I'm like, when's he going to talk about Aaron Rodgers? Because this team is going to live and die by Aaron Rodgers, because they set themselves up for that.
I
They
put him last because it was last. You know what
because
I'm saying? Everything happened leading up to
oh no,
that pipe
and
bomb, because it was all but expected, even though it wasn't wanted.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, and it was so expected that that's why the NFL put this matchup in particular week 1. If Rodgers signed before the NFL schedule released, this game would have been on prime time, guaranteed. Like this would have been the Monday night game, but this is a 1 o'clock game, and to me, the again, this team is going to live and die by Aaron Rodgers, because that's what Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin wanted. They thought that their team was good enough to compete, and we just need consistent quarterback play. And that was also the same philosophy of the Jets 2 years ago, where our defense is good enough and we just need consistent quarterback play, and we're going to get Aaron Rodgers. And obviously year 1 bit them in the ass, but for no fault of anyone's, volition, like, he just got hurt, right? And then but they just didn't have a backup plan for that year, so that they punted on that year. And then the following year, again with Rodgers at the helm, getting exactly what he wants, getting Devontae midway through the season, and they went 5-12. And
5 wins.
And could I see Justin Fields and the Jets get more than like 5 wins or more? Yeah, that seems about right. I could see them 6,
A 7
maybe
at maximum.
maybe 7. The problem is the AFC is just too good, and the Bills are just too good of a team, and
Dolphins and the Patriots are well ran.
Dolphins are good. I think the Dolphins are going to regress a little bit this year.
I agree.
And Patriots are they're going to be better than 4 wins. So
That is the truth.
So I think for the Jets, it's like, look, and we've talked about it before, and this is what I'll just say with the Jets. It's like, look, there is no expectation for the Jets this year. Their fans have zero expectation for them. They just want to see something. If it's good coaching and a team identity, a player breaks out, they find their quarterback in Justin Fields, anything. So the bar is so low in New York right now that I think that, and we've talked about this before, sometimes it's not about, like, when you're a team rebuilding, it's not about the wins. It's about the chemistry of the team, and it's about just establishing an identity and just playing, again, complete team football and just finding progress, any direction. And it makes this year at least palatable for Jets fans. The games themselves, they're gonna be brutal, and right off the bat too, it's like this game. This is probably gonna be a low scoring affair if I had to guess, 17-14. If I really had to guess, but we'll see. Because I'm really excited for this one. But my thoughts on Pittsburgh, again, you're gonna live and die by Rodgers, and I think that, to me, what is really upsetting for the Steelers is, like you said before, it's very short-sighted. You're really sacrificing the long-term growth for short-term gratification. And we've seen that just sometimes it's worked.
Buries teams.
It's like there's been a trend lately within the last 10 years of players, like well-known established quarterbacks, moving to a different team, some having success, some not having success. Peyton Manning to the Broncos, Tom Brady to the Bucks, Matt Stafford and Jared Goff both to the Lions and Rams respectively.
Swaps, right.
So, but then we've seen Russell Wilson to the Broncos. And then we saw Aaron Rodgers to the
Derek
Jets.
Carr to the Saints.
Derek Carr to the Saints. So these are all... we're going to see it this year with probably Sam Darnold and the Seahawks and Geno Smith and the Raiders, but we'll see.
That should be interesting to see.
Very interesting to see. But I think that, for me, when we really are honest with ourselves and say, are the Steelers good enough to compete for a Super Bowl this year? Because the expectation for this team that they have amongst themselves has to be Super Bowl, right? Otherwise, it's like, then what's the expectation? To make it to the playoffs and get bounced in the first round again? That can't be the standard, but the standard is the standard. And that's been the standard for a while. If they win a wild card round, is it a successful season? I know I asked you that earlier. Me personally, I would not. I think that if they make it to, like, the AFC title game, I think that really gives a big microscope on the great points of the team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that knowing that Rodgers is not going to be there next year, but it's like, okay, we saw improvement in the offensive line. We saw a lot of skill position players step up. That would be improvement, right? But it seems that they are just trying to delay the rebuild and for that short-term gratification. And it doesn't help them that, again, they know that they've been in the AFC North, and it's so tough this year because the Ravens are going to be really good. The Bengals are going to be competitive. Browns, they got one on both of us last year. So
right. They can sneak wins. But yeah, the short face is what really bothers me. Simply because we had, first off, getting rid of Najee Harris. And Najee Harris, Jalen Warren could have been something really special. I don't know if people really understand the significance of having 4 straight 1,000-yard running seasons. Like, come on now. Like,
it's impressive.
We need to... No one's ever done it before Najee Harris. That's the record of 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons.
I think some running backs may have had that, but that is I'll have to look into that stat. That's interesting, but it's again valuable. He brought
The
value to
value
the
that
team.
you bring to the team, and then
Mhm.
it's you understand you're going to have to pay him, and you can't afford him
Yep.
because you're going to sign Ludacris. And now you talk about backup plans. Our backup plan is Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
Let's let that one marinate for a second as to what we like. You said the standard is the standard, and as ambiguous as that is, it's not. It doesn't fit anymore
The standard.
because the standard of losing the first round of the playoffs, it's it's hard to understand. Like, I get it, the regular season success, right? That's a great thing to have. But once the postseason starts and the game of attrition really sets in now, because the season's supposed to be over for you, but you got help and you made your way in, and now you have a team that's been preparing for the playoffs for weeks, and you haven't been because you've been winning games by the skin of your teeth, or looking for help on the other side because people need to help you either lose or win to help you move up, whatever. That's kind of the situation we've been in for going on a decade and a half now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just the purgatory that we've been in. And I said it at the end of last season, and I feel like for those who watched it, it didn't make sense when I said it first. But sometimes the problems that are being hidden need to blow up in your face
Mhm.
for it to be taken care of. And if the decisions of Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin at the end of this year produce another first round playoff outing where we look like we just don't belong, the conversation of a healthy divorce will become a stronger conversation. And I think people aren't ready for that conversation specifically. They are not ready for an NFL without Mike Tomlin coaching the Steelers. There's a lot of people in the Steelers fan base who will not accept it.
Mhm.
There's also a lot of Steelers fans who have been waiting for it for years. I want that to be known very clear there.
Oh yeah.
And I've gone back and forth with Steelers fans as to why, because of the regular season success. But there's also the moment of understanding their side when it comes to, we may succeed just enough in the regular season.
Mhm.
We stand no chance in the postseason.
Yeah.
And when you know that as a fact as a fan, it's frustrating, especially when you tie that into decisions at the wrong time, short-faced decisions, going all in on players that you really have no business going all in on, when you have seasoned veterans who are saying, please just pay me a little bit more, and you're kind of telling them no while you're signing other people. Like, you're stirring a pot and like sifting up things that don't need to happen, when you could just keep your loyal players comfortable, and you move on, adjust as you need to, and you need to embrace change.
Mhm.
There's there's the teams that are going to be left behind, or the teams that don't embrace the idea that the game is changing and they need to change with it.
Mhm.
And I think it's changing a lot faster than a lot of legacy teams are understanding. The Giants are one of them. They're a legacy team. They really have not gotten a grip. The Steelers are losing grip. Kansas City, they were exposed in the Super Bowl. That is something you can say in clear cut. And the tone of which they lost is the reason why. I feel Patrick Mahomes has seen his last Super Bowl.
Again,
They
bold.
need
I
to
love it.
they need to come to grips that they need to move past what they were and become something new.
Mhm.
The whole game is getting faster, and the slowed down, methodical football down the field is very far few between. You have to be able to light fireworks in the first drive, or you're fucked.
And that's the coaches that you see adapt are the ones that are the consistently in the playoffs. John Harbaugh, Andy Reid, Sean McDermott, for as long as
Yes.
he's been there. Zach Taylor's been consistent as well. Again,
Mm-hmm.
they're great. Look at Sean Payton in Denver real quick. Just from what his whole identity as a coach was for the Saints compared to his coaching identity for the Broncos. He has
It's totally adapted.
he's adapted to it where it's like he is switched from an offensive mindset to a defensive mindset, and it shows. And I would be surprised if this year the Broncos don't have the number one defense this year. I think that
It's
they are looking to be, with the additions that they got and the production that they had last year. I I expect big things, but again, adaptable coaches. Look at Sean Payton. Look at Jim Harbaugh. And
right.
so these are the teams that are amongst them. I think
You have to be
again,
malleable in this league.
yes, and we've been saying that for a while too. But I think that look, my final thing for the Steelers is for this season, good enough is not good enough. The standard has been to just be good enough. And that can't be the standard this season. It's either, look, get the Super Bowl, win, boom, you prove everyone wrong. You prove everyone, everything goes gravy. But in all reality, it would not be the worst thing if they go like your prediction of 5-11. It would not be
We
the
need
worst
that,
thing.
maybe. Maybe
And
we need that.
that would be that reality check that's like, okay, maybe we do need to hit the reset button. And that, I think that would probably be the best thing because good enough is not the standard.
Sometimes you need to have your face dragged through the dirt to realize that you were probably the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And we as Steelers fans and even the Steelers franchise itself has been locked in the world of success for years. So maybe a 5-win season is what we need to have a lot of blinders taken off to problems at hand,
Mm-hmm.
situations that are being handled by people who maybe they shouldn't, conversations that are being had with other people in the front office. Maybe we had the too many hats conversation with Bill Belichick, right? Maybe there's a too many hats conversation to be had in Pittsburgh.
It's very
Who
possible.
knows? It's all going to be what is seen on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it's going to hurt. This is as good. How do you want to? I can't even say as good. I can't even say as good as we are because we're not.
Well, it's going to be good to see them again, to at least see football again.
It's going to be great to watch football again.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the idea of hoping on potential versus knowing that we've prepared is a very tough pill to swallow.
Mm-hmm.
There's potential. If we were prepared for this, I would be enjoying this game a lot more. We are not prepared for week 1 right now, in my opinion. We are not prepared.
Well, I don't know about you, CP, but I'm prepared for this game because this game has been that where it's like you got to circle it. It's more than just a football game. It's
tone. It's a tone setter.
It's a tone setter, and that's the perfect way to start the season is just with an absolute tone setter. But that was I gotta say, CP, that was very well said for all of it.
Thank you.
Because I know you've wanted to let that out for a little while.
That was a fucking deep drawer.
And I believe
it ain't over.
We'll unpack more of the Steelers as the season goes on, right? We'll definitely talk about them at some point. I mean, hell, Ravens Steelers week, but that's later on. We get both our games like later deep in the season.
That was also a more abridged version because I did say a lot of it back then while I was fucking heated angry. So I simmered a lot and just said my piece.
I'm proud of you.
It versus just fucking totally unloading.
Oh fuck! But CP, we have a lot of games to get to on week 1, and are you ready to pick some games for week 1?
It feels good to pick some games again, man. Let's do it.
Let's fucking pick some games. Let's start with the first game of the season. The Dallas Cowboys coming to Philadelphia to play the Eagles, to watch them raise that banner in Philly. CP, who you got? Ooh, that feels good to say. Ooh, who you got?
Feels good to hear.
Feels good.
I'm gonna call a week 1 shutout Eagles. I don't think the Cowboys get in the end zone.
That's bold.
I'm gonna say week 1 shutout. Week 1 shutout.
I'll pick Philly as well. Not a shutout though, but I think that it's going to be a blowout because no Micah and no running game from Dak. That's going to be tough. So Friday we have a Friday game in Brazil. Last year we had the green teams. Now we have a divisional game between the Chiefs and the Chargers in Brazil. Chris Palma, who you got?
Give me the Chargers in the upset.
Ooh.
Again, tone set in week 1, right? You got to set the tone in the AFC. You fall behind by more than a game, you're screwed. Chargers need a season where they come out the gate fast and hot and stay that way.
Mm-hmm.
This is Justin Herbert's last chance to prove that he is the guy that people are saying he is.
It's for Herbert, right? He's gotta do something. You gotta do something, right? You gotta win your division. You gotta be offensive. You gotta get some accolades to really. It
starts with beating the Chiefs overseas,
and that's the thing. Is you gotta. He's got to do something this season, man. Because I want to put him in that category, close to the top 5, but he needs.
He hasn't shown anything.
And that's the thing with great quarterbacks, right? They have accolades to prove their greatness, right? I still think the Chargers still have a lot to prove. I'm going to take the Chiefs on this one. I think the Chiefs, if for some reason they just, no matter who's the head coach, who's playing on the Chargers, who's playing on the Chiefs, Andy Reid just knows how to play against them, and he knows their scheme. So it's going to be hard to go against Big Red, but I think this is going to be a great game in Brazil, and I'm excited to see it. So let's move to Sunday's slate of games. Let's start in Indianapolis with the Miami Dolphins playing the Indianapolis Colts. So, fun fact, the Colts have not won a season opener since 2013.
Wow.
I'm taking the Dolphins.
Yeah, you're going to give me the Dolphins. But not for that principle. It's the principle that they have moved on from Anthony Richardson and they are playing Daniel Jones in week 1.
What a difference a year makes, man. What a difference.
Just wow.
A whole offseason and Danny Dimes is still playing in blue.
I don't know. New nickname. It's Indy. It's Indy Danny or something. Jones.
He's
it's
still
Indiana Jones or some shit.
Indiana Jones. Oh my God. Okay, I can get behind that.
I can get behind that one.
Indiana Jones. But man, but you're right though. The benching of Anthony Richardson in favor of Daniel Jones is a very interesting move by Shane Steichen. I have a lot of questions with both of these teams, but I want to see how they kind of, react to one another. I think this is going to be a good game in Indy. If Danny Dimes has a resurgent career in Indy, bro,
that would be interesting to watch.
That's too bold for me to even claim.
That would be really interesting to watch, man.
That is too bold.
I
mean, it is a thought.
That's always things to think about, friend.
Oh man, but CP, I know you're dying on me over here.
Yes.
CP, let's go to the MetLife. Steelers and Jets. Who you got?
Week 1, I'm not going to lose faith in my team in week 1. I'm going to have to go. I'm going with Pittsburgh, but I do not expect a clean game on any way, shape, or form. It would not surprise me at all if the Jets pulled this one away and pulled away from this game early.
That's tough. I mean, but like, good for Jets fans if they do that, right? Like, good, like they get their one, right? It's crazy because it's a double revenge game.
Right.
It's
double whammy revenge game.
It's a double whammy revenge game with a lot of layers to it. That again, we dove into it, but there's still more to dive deep down into, which is crazy. But I'm gonna go with the Steelers as well. I think that Tomlin's gonna have his group more prepared than what's his name, Aaron Glenn, preparing the Jets. And again,
you would like to think so.
That from what I gotta at least it's like, look, Tomlin, I gotta believe in you at least for this matchup.
Right, gotta do it. Right, you gotta do it.
Yeah, show us what you got. Let's see Aaron Rodgers. Let's see what you got. So, okay, I'm surprised because I know earlier you were saying like a couple months ago you're like I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets fucking blow us out.
It wouldn't surprise me if they blow us out. I told you there's a small part of me still. It was bigger back then because I was angry. I told you that. There's a small part of me that wants to see Justin Fields have a day. Just go and have a day and showcase yourself.
It's very possible.
And
could happen.
It wouldn't surprise me none if it happened at the hands of our defense.
That'd be fucking. Oh my god.
I wouldn't surprise me none at all. Unfortunately.
Hey, anything could happen week 1.
Correct.
Anything.
Any given Sunday, bro.
Any given Sunday. So this given Sunday, we also have the Carolina Panthers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Battle of the Cats. I like it. CP, who you got?
My eye's going to be on this game, specifically because I said going into this year I'd keep my eye on Carolina a little more closely.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to have to give me Carolina on this one.
Ooh, I like it.
I'm really starting to lose faith in Trevor Lawrence. You know, I wasn't the biggest fan of him. I didn't ever get behind the generational talent thing. You can say I was hard on him for the past couple of years statistically, that, you know, he doesn't play up to the contract he signed. I'm trying to keep faith in him that he's going to bring this Jacksonville team somewhere, but he's in the same realm as Justin Herbert now, where you need to do something.
Mm-hmm.
You need to do something now. Like, enough is enough.
Yeah.
If you're going to be that guy, you got to show us that you're that guy. Because Carolina is not far behind in terms of progress.
They aren't, and that's the scary part too. Is like the Jags are really, they gave themselves a lot of skill position players the last couple of years. They're given all like Trevor Lawrence is like, lead us, and again, this team is going to live and die by Trevor Lawrence, right? And we've seen him die on the field because he took that nasty concussion last year.
He did take a bad hit last year.
And he has not been healthy the last couple years either, which is unfortunate. And it's not to any of his mistakes or anything like that, but that is a thing where it's like, look, if you are investing in this guy and putting so much faith into him, when you got to at least have an idea that if the wheels fall off, you have a backup plan, right? And it looks like the Jags, it's like, I need to see progress. I need for them to compete within their own division. I don't want it to be like week 8 and the Jags are 2-6.
Right.
No.
Not again.
I need them to be competitive within their division because that's a winnable division. That's a very winnable division. They all play each other tough, right? But outside of the division, it's very weak, right? Like the rest of the AFC stacked and everything, blah, 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 blah. I got to see something. Give me Jacksonville on this one. I got to see something.
All right. You know, again, I commend you on your faith in Jacksonville. It's just,
I have no faith in Jacksonville. I just think that
you need to see it now.
I need to see it. I need to see it. And against the Panthers, again, that's kind of even competition. And when you look at a lot of these games, every team stacks up well against their opponent. because either they have a lot of questions or anything like that, or teams are trying to reestablish their identity and stuff. So it's like, or they got new head coaches, they got new thing, blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like every team and every matchup seems to be a very even matchup. So I like it. I think that starting, I want to move to the Big Easy with the Cardinals and the Saints. Now, the Saints are a lot of unknown, and I still stand by 1-15. So I'm taking the Cardinals on this game.
Okay.
But the Cardinals are still a big unknown too. It's like are they good? That's the real question. Are they good? And I don't think a win over the Saints proves that, if they are to win over the Saints. But if you don't win this one, then it's like maybe you're not as good as you think.
Well, again, Arizona is another team that has another quarterback at the helm where you have to show me something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, again, I'm a fan of Kyler Murray. I've been a fan of Kyler Murray. I think he is really good. You got to show me something now. You're another one who's having a lot of faith lost. You know, you got to show me now. And New Orleans is the perfect team. You go in and you should roll this team. Talent-wise, Arizona is so much better on paper than New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't even be close.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is, because of the way this team is ran, this is probably going to be a 3-point game.
It's very possible. It's very, very possible. Who you got for this one?
Arizona.
Okay. No upset.
I can't go with New Orleans confidently.
I can't.
Sorry, Kevin.
Sorry, Kev. We'll get more into it next week. But let's move on to Washington, where the Giants play the Commanders. Divisional game right off the bat.
Now, this one's interesting,
right?
You have Russell Wilson coming in a uniform. You clearly have the future of the Giants franchise sitting on the roster with Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo.
Potentially.
Okay, I'll give you the potentially.
Still unproven yet.
But you have the now of Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And the now of Washington is a potential beast in this league that people really are underestimating. You're going to give me Washington, and I don't think it's going to be pretty. I really don't think it's going to be pretty right now.
Give me the Giants.
Oof.
I think the upset happens.
In Washington?
In Washington. They played them really close last year, and the Giants were a far worse team than they are this year. Potentially.
Speculative, right?
I think that their defense can hang with Washington. I think Washington takes a step back this year than they did last year. I think they take a step back. That doesn't mean they don't make the playoffs or anything like that, but if they were to take a step forward, that means they go to the Super Bowl. And I don't think that that's the case. So okay. I think that Washington plays a lot of close games. They play a lot of really close games, but Brian, I got to give credit to Brian Daboll. He knows how to play them. He plays them tough, and he knows how to scheme against this team. I'm taking the Giants on the upset. It might be one of the few times this year I'll ever pick the Giants, but I'll do it.
Okay. I mean, no, that's fair. But, you got to give me Washington on this one.
I don't blame you. Let's move to Atlanta, where the Bucks play the Falcons. I am going to take the Bucks because I am very high on the Bucks this year.
I am definitely going to take the Bucks as well. However, I am still going to be keeping my eye on Atlanta, just like last year. Mm-hmm. Last year, I said I saw that they were emerging as a prominent zone running team in this league. I want to see if that progresses.
I want to see them get Bijan a full workload.
A full load. I want to see what can happen.
From if everyone's drafted him that high in fantasy, man, apparently he's going to bust out, right? Like he's going to break through. And they drafted him high for a reason. And we've seen running backs who have been drafted very high have good success. Like, for instance, Jahmyr Gibbs in recent time. They drafted him very high. I think with Bijan, I want to see dependability from Bijan, and I want to see something out of Michael Penix. I
Have
like
to.
him. I like him. I want to see that he can hang. If he can hang, then okay. But otherwise, if he can't, it's going to be a long season for Atlanta. It's going to be a
Correct.
long, long season. But
I need to see something from Kyle Pitts.
no,
Need to see something from him,
that ain't happening.
but I don't think it's going to happen. I think Michael Penix is going to start looking elsewhere downfield,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to slowly be the end of Kyle Pitts' career in Atlanta.
Probably. Probably. Oh man, let's move to Cleveland, where the Cincinnati Bengals take on the Cleveland Browns. Divisional AFC North game. Chris Palmer, who you got?
You're going to have to give me Cincinnati. I have no reason to go for Cleveland at the moment.
I respect it. I'm taking Cleveland. No lie. I am actually going to take Cleveland. Slow start for Cincinnati. They've just historically been on a slow start. For the first 2 weeks of the year, Joe Flacco knows how to play against Cincinnati, and with
That's the truth.
and with the absence of a lot of players on defense for the Bengals, their defense is going to be pretty bad this year. Speculated, it does not look good for Cincinnati's defense. They're going to be outscoring teams. If they happen to outscore the Browns, hey, they'll get that win. But I think the Browns take this win in an upset.
Very interesting.
Let's move to New England, where the Raiders play the Patriots. Very interesting week 1 matchup. CP, who you got?
This is going to be an interesting one to watch. I'm going to keep an eye on Ashton Genty making his season debut with Vegas. You're going to give me New England. It's again, you got to go with just a better functioning franchise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they may have had a couple of bad years, but they are still the more proper functioning of a franchise. Vegas has been in shambles for years now.
This is going to be a very interesting coaching matchup. Pete Carroll versus Mike Vrabel. I like that matchup.
Interesting to think.
I think that, both are extremely different. They have different ways about their coaching, but it fits the culture of each team. Like Pete Carroll, it just feels right for him to be a Raider. For Mike Vrabel, it just feels right for him to be a Patriot since he was a Patriot as a player. So
it's only right that he's the fucking Patriots coach.
And if I'm going based just because, again, these are two different teams with two different identities to them. If I'm going based on what I know of these head coaches, I'm going to take Mike Vrabel and the Patriots to beat the Raiders. But I do want to see Ashton Genty.
I want to see what he has.
I think he's going to be good. I don't think that offensive line is going to do him any favors, though.
No, I feel like he's going to have to improvise a lot.
Yeah.
But that I feel like with that is going to come an opportunity to showcase who he is as a runner.
Mm-hmm.
And that will, in turn, help their offensive line evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Because their offensive line is good, not great. They don't do any favors, but they don't make many mistakes. You know what I'm saying? They won't get to the second level, but they'll still keep their block for the entire 3 seconds that they need and keep that hole open for you. So if he can he has to be able to make people miss all the time. There will be no extra blocking for him, unfortunately, this year, at the very least. Being able to set the edge and get to the second level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's he's not going to have that privilege this year, not with the Raiders.
Not this year, unfortunately. But who knows? Maybe it'll evolve as the years go on.
I'm excited to see him. I think he's going to be very, very special running back in this league. Let's move to Seattle. Divisional round game. The 49ers come to play Sam Darnold and the Seahawks. Chris Palmer, who you got for this one?
In Seattle, you're going to have to give me Seattle. again, week one, that crowd is already going to be out of its mind.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Darnold did prove last year that he can play still. It just hopefully he walked into another play scheme that benefits him.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the planets aren't aligned, we will not see the same thing we saw last year.
No,
Every planet needs to realign the same exact way, and I
yeah,
don't
no,
see it really happening.
Mercury's in retrograde. I don't think it's happening.
I don't even know what that means, and I agree with you.
I think we're not going to see that 14-3 Sam Darnold from last year. I don't think that's going to be the case. But I think that he'll be good enough on Seattle. And I think that, again, for Seattle, for them, they probably think they can win the division. I don't think they can. I think that the 49ers becoming healthier than they were last year because they were snake bitten like the Lions last year. They were plagued with injuries. I think them coming back healthier, even though they don't have Hufanga and they don't have Dre Greenlaw anymore, they are both on Denver. I'm going to take the 49ers. I think them getting back to full charge, if there was a team that ever needed rest in the offseason, it was them. And I think that they come out the gate fresh.
Cool.
Let's move to Denver, where we have the debut of Cam Ward, the first overall pick for the Tennessee Titans, going up against the Denver Broncos in Denver. CP, who you got? This one actually looks like to be a really good game.
I think this one could wind up being game of the week. It's so intriguing to me. Cam Ward already has that veteran mentality where he just wants to do better.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell he's going to be like a pinnacle of the team very soon. He's going to be a pinnacle of the community too. I don't know if you saw one of his. He has a quote already that's going out from him being on a panel to the media. They asked him why he shows up to the facility at 4:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "I spent my entire life watching my dad go to a job at 4:30 in the morning that he hated. If I can't do that for a job I love, I shouldn't be playing football."
I did see that quote. Yeah,
that should have sent a shockwave through the league
mm-hmm.
as to who just set foot into this league. This has potential to be an unbelievable career ahead of us with Cam Ward watching, and this game is going to be wild. But I think you're going to have to give me Denver simply because of it may not be much, but it is still more experience in the league that Bo Nix has. They had the best camp in the offseason. Not many injuries went against them. So they're probably the most full strength team going into week one right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll pretty much write exactly what you just said because you said everything perfect. I'm taking Denver. I think I like their defense a lot this year. And again, I expect them to have the number one defense this year. They look to be stout, especially with I love Dre Greenlaw being on this team. That is such a big piece for any defense. And it's tough because I like Cam Ward. He has not played a single snap in the NFL, and I'm already a fan of him because of everything that he's demonstrated in the offseason. He has that leadership mentality that, man, this guy, if he is a home run, like from what you and I can both speculate, the Titans are in good hands going forward. And
Go ahead.
And I'm excited to see exactly how his career is going to blossom because he has the mindset of the greats. And that's where it is, where they just grind and they look to be smarter and just a better overall version of themselves. So I can't wait to see what the best version of Cam Ward is. And this is before he even takes a snap.
Right, this is before he takes even a single professional snap in this league.
But I'm taking Denver.
Got to do it.
But I'm really excited for this game. That game's going to be good. Now, CP, I think if there's ever going to be a game of the week, this could be the game of the week between the Lions and the Packers. What a week one game
Judgment Day. It's
Who
a
you
Judgment Day match
who you got?
with the questionable play of Micah Parsons. If he plays, it's gonna be a coin flip. If he doesn't play, I think Detroit wins. I think you're gonna have to give me Detroit on week 1, but another game of the week candidate for sure.
It really is. I
This
want to
could.
watch this one.
I'm just saying, in terms of how good this game could turn out to be potentially, this could be potentially a game of the year in week 1 candidate.
It could. It very well could. Oh man, this is tough. This is a tough week 1. I'm gonna go Green Bay.
Okay,
And
we're
again,
split again.
I know. And again, it's not that I don't love Detroit, man. And you know me. I love Detroit. I just think that Green Bay, they just have a slight edge over Detroit, where it's like they lost to the Super Bowl champs in the first round, and they kept it kind of competitive in the wild card round. They kept it competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit got blown out. They got absolutely stuffed, and by the time it was too little, too late. I think again how they both lost.
It's the tone in which they lost.
Set the tone for the offseason. And where the Green Bay looked to be like, oh no, we just need a little extra push. Let's get Micah Parsons. Not even from their own not from hunting him. This was not before draft. This was a week before the season starts.
Right.
Because Jerry Jones
just fell in their lap.
Has a fucking ego. But even if Micah Parsons isn't playing, the fact that they have, again, much like the 49ers, the Lions have a lot of their defensive personnel coming back from injury. The thing I think the difference between the 49ers and the Lions situation is that I think the 49ers are against their competition of the Seahawks. I don't think the Seahawks are as competitive as the 49ers at their best. And so I think that the 49ers can afford, if there is some rust, they can afford some rust. I don't think the Lions can afford this rust against this competition against the Packers. Because this NFC North is going to be a fight this whole year. And I'm all for it. I'll take the Packers week 1, but man, this game is going to be decided by a
potential
hair.
game of the year candidate.
Yeah. Oh man.
So it's going to be fun.
It's going to be so fun. So let's move on to LA. Texans and Rams. Who you got, CP? This is another good one.
This is another good one, but you're going to have to give me Houston because it's the debut of Nick Chubb as a Houston Texan. But let's not forget who Nick Chubb is as a running back.
When he was healthy, he was one of the best.
You're right. And then 6 weeks after that brutal knee injury, he's squatting 400 pounds again.
Disgusting.
That's a real thing.
I know that's a real thing.
So let's talk about who Nick Chubb is as a running back on that team right now. Houston, again, tone setting type games. If they come out strong and let's say they beat the brakes off of the Rams, that's going to send a shockwave through the AFC.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You're going to have to give me the Texans.
I respect it, man. I think I'm going to go with the Rams.
Another upset.
I think that the Rams were another team I was considering for the Super Bowl. But again, I don't know the longevity and health of concerns of Matt Stafford. However, week 1 is the freshest he's going to be. And I think a fresh, healthy Matt Stafford and Tua coming off injury, and with that defense that they have too. I mean, Houston's got a great defense too, but I'll trust Sean McVay just a little bit more. So I'll take the Rams.
That's interesting. All right, I respect it.
Sunday night prime time, Chris Palmer, Ravens, Bills. Back to the scene of the crime. Sunday
Where
night
it
prime
all
time.
ended.
Where it
Where it
all
all
ended. Where Mark Andrews fucking dropped that cocksucker.
where it all ended.
Where it all ended. But where it all
I think
begins.
I think you're gonna have to give me Buffalo, friend. And
I don't blame you.
I really only say that because of the track record of how Baltimore starts out the year. They start out slow, and this is not the year to do it.
I know. It
And
really isn't.
it's not the year to do it. And you see it, if they fall behind like they did last year and they go 0-3, that hurts. That hurts.
They were 0-2 and then they won week 3. So they started 0-2.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so they start 0-2 starts hurt more this year than they have in any year past.
Yeah. It does.
So it starts week 1. You have to win. Must-win games are week 1 for the past couple of years, but this year more prominent than any because of the fucking progression that is happening.
And this game could also decide tiebreakers later on in the season.
That's what I'm saying.
So this is a very, very important game, and with already week 1 with playoff implications on the line. It's fucking crazy.
It doesn't stop, dude. It's like it started like 3 years ago. We started seeing that must-win games were getting earlier and earlier. Now it's like
week 1.
Week 1, you lose this game, you're fucked.
This game is going to be, again, this could be game of the week. These are the two juggernauts in the AFC, along with, again, you still got to at least put the Chiefs there. It's like, but those are like 2 out of the 3 juggernauts playing against each other Sunday night primetime. It had to be, right? It just had to be. But give me the Ravens, because I don't think that comes to a surprise to anyone, right? But this, I think, when you compare it, right? I think that offensively, I think Ravens are better. I think that they just have a lot more firepower. I like the James Cook a lot in Buffalo. He's great. Their defense in Buffalo concerns me. I don't think the addition of Joey Bosa necessarily makes them better, but
no, I don't think so.
But I think that they're going to be good enough, but I don't think good enough is good enough for Lamar. Lamar has been like, he's getting better every year, and it's, again, 2 MVP caliber players going to be playing against each other. Give me the Ravens, man. This is going to be a great one. Okay, that's Sunday. Monday night, final game. Minnesota Vikings come to play the Chicago Bears. Who you got, CP?
I don't know why they're really trying to play this Caleb Williams narrative. They just set this man up to be bullied for 3 hours on national TV on week 1. The Bears are going to have such a hard time this year. You give me the Vikings, and you give me no other choice, because it's just not going to be pretty.
I think no matter who the Bears would play, you probably would have said the same thing. It's like, if they're in it for 3 hours.
Week 1, you put them on Monday night against the fucking Vikings, dude.
Well, this would have been for the Steelers and Jets if Rodgers would have signed faster.
Maybe, but really, like, against the Vikings, week 1.
Vikings debut of J.J. McCarthy. I'm excited to see it.
I'm excited to see.
I think that the Vikings proved last year that they have a great team. And
all they need is leadership.
And that's the thing. I think J.J. McCarthy gives them that faith for the long-term future, which is what the Steelers have wanted for a while, what a lot of teams want for a while. I'm taking the Vikings. Bears, just protect Caleb. Just protect him, man.
Well, there you have it, guys. Week 1 is in the books. There are picks for the week. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you want to come on for an interview, we have the season open from week 3 to the end. Please contact either John or myself, and we will be sure to put you in on the week that your team is playing. We will have another good conversation. But until next week, guys, thank you very much.